Hello and welcome to the PvA Nightly Rundown for July 19th, 2019. I am your host, Luke Croft, and this is the nightly. Excuse me. I haven't talked a lot today, if I'm being perfectly honest. Been very contemplative and not in a fantastic mood for some reason. I don't know. I think I'm getting like the Sunday sad, Sunday scaries, whatever they call it, but like 3 days before I'm supposed to go back to work. So, so yeah, I've been a little mopey today. Played a little Overwatch, watched some League. Haven't haven't talked a tremendous amount, but we're here for the PvA Nightly Rundown tonight, which is the nightly gaming news show where I run you through all of the gaming news that you may have missed throughout the day, so that you don't look like a fucking idiot at the water cooler tomorrow, guys. We do this every weeknight over here on twitch.tv/PVA radio at 9 p.m. Eastern time, except for Wednesdays, because that's when we do our episode of PVA radio with Larry Hunt and Cody Mellokline. If you can't catch us live, you can watch us over on youtube.com/PVA radio, where we break it out by topic, and you can also watch the entire show. You may be asking yourself, Luke, I went to go watch the whole entire episode from last night, but it was not there. It's because we had some difficulties with Twitch, and then my Mac was giving me some issues. And I'll be totally honest also. It is a million degrees in this room. I'm going to go check something real quick, and I will be right back, because, like, I'm sweating, and I'm just sitting here, guys. So, BRB. I think I've got my noise gate set to the appropriate amount to where that shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be coming through. Sorry, guys. It is hot as hell, as I'm sure it is for a lot of you, especially in the Midwest and on the East Coast. It got up to almost 100 today, and this room doesn't have great circulation to begin with. And then with these lights on as well, it's just it gets a little toasty in here. But anyway, it is Friday, so hopefully you guys are going into a nice weekend with great plans for great fun. I'm going to be putting a washer and dryer in upstairs. Oh man, Nims41 coming into the chat says Microsoft and Netflix both doing bad this year. Make Microsoft third party. Hashtag make Microsoft third party. Yeah, I saw today the report where Netflix has, for the first time in, is it years, lost subscribers. I was actually talking with my brother-in-law about this the other day, before that news came out, and I was like, there's only a handful of original shows on Netflix that I really... Oh, this was the first month ever. Okay, that makes sense. There's a handful of original shows that I really care about on Netflix, one of which is coming back next month, Mindhunter, Season 2. Very excited about it. I'm a fan of anything serial killer, crime profile, anything like that. I listen to a lot of like true crime podcasts that I really enjoy, and so Mindhunter, like, right up my alley. I watch Stranger Things. I was into Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, but that's over now. I'm sure there's others that I'm missing. The Witcher series that we're about to talk about, I'm super interested in that. But outside of that, like, I'm not really interested in most of the movies that they put out, really any of the movies that they put out. And all of these other streaming platforms really popping up, and taking content away from Netflix that they can't keep, you know, and I feel like they're going to lose a ton of subscribers when The Office goes off of it, because honestly, that's what a lot of people use Netflix for. It's their Office subscription. Nim says, yeah, podcasts have kind of ruined Netflix for me. I just would rather watch the shows on YouTube or whatever rather than, random Netflix show. I use Hulu for anime, and Netflix is like once every other week. We use Hulu constantly because we have, you know, as somebody who is a decade older than you, according to you, Nims, there's still some weekly shows that we like to watch, and Hulu's a great way to watch those. And then not just, you know, the not just Hulu originals, but, you know, a lot of times like The Good Place, the new episode comes on either live when it airs on NBC or the very next day. And we got some other like kind of guilty pleasure comedy shows that we watch the following day on Hulu. And we've been using Amazon Prime because I've been watching back through my favorite show of all time, Psych. Suck it. What a great show. What a great show. And so, yeah, we don't watch a ton of Netflix anymore. And we pay for like the highest version because we share with my brother and sister-in-law. And so we have to have, you know, multiple screens simultaneously. And I like having the 4K for my TV. But I keep thinking, like, is this really worth it? It's almost like you need to take an HBO approach with it now. Like, hey, let's just pay for it for a month or two, catch up on all the shit that we want to catch up on, and then cancel. Because once The Office and some of those other shows get off of there, there's not going to be anything that really draws you back. So, yeah. And I also listen to just a ton of podcasts, and I watch a ton of Twitch anymore. Like, most of my free time is spent watching Twitch. I watched 5 straight hours of the LEC today. Just kind of sitting on my couch, working on stuff on my laptop, watching professional League of Legends. All right, guys, well, let's jump into the show. I don't really have any housekeeping. It is Friday, so no streams over the weekend. As always, we'll be back on Monday at 9 p.m. So let's get into our list. What released today? We get this list over from Kotaku.com, and I changed up the buttons on my Stream Deck, and so I've got to make sure I hit the right ones. Releasing today, the big one, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order on Switch. That's a Switch exclusive. We talked about Marvel Ultimate Alliance at length on the podcast on PvA Radio 2 weeks ago, so you can go check that clip out over on our YouTube channel. And then also Redeemer Enhanced Edition on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Lost Ember on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Welcome to Hanwell on Xbox One. Astro Bears on Switch. Jim is Moving Out on Switch and PC. Mini Trains on Switch. Colic on PC, Hack.88 on PC, Gory Tale on PC and Mac, and Subs on PC. And then releasing tomorrow, we've got Moon Tycoon for PC and Chibi Volleyball on PC and Mac. All right, as always, we got a horror game on the list, so let's check it out. Let's pull up Gory Tale trailer. Gory Tale trailer. Oh, it's one word. One word. Okay, is this it? This says it's releasing. It released a few months ago. All right, Gory Tale gameplay trailer 1. All right, this looks unexpected. All right, not what I was expecting. Here we go. Oh shit. You're in Candyland. You're punching fruit. You're punching. Oh, that's really loud for you guys, isn't it? I'm sorry. Punching fruit, marshmallows, milkshakes, hitting them with a router. What are these weapons? Got some speed metal. Hell yeah, man. This is coming out tomorrow or today on PC and Mac. Fuck off. I love it. I love it. That's good stuff right there. Oh man, fuck off. All right, so yeah, those are your releases for the week. Well, for the releases for today and tomorrow, and so now you've been caught up on everything that came out this week. There was a game that I watched a trailer for actually today that came out Tuesday called Kill Squad. I'm actually going to pull this up because I want to show you guys. It looks awesome. I was reading a PC Gamer like review of it. Let's see, Kill Squad. And it's like a mashup between Diablo and Destiny. So it's like a class-based cooperative loot shooter, but it's top down. So here's the official gameplay trailer. Hold on. Wait, is this the same song? Am I mistaken? Is this the same song? No, this isn't the same song. It was Speed Metal that we got last time. I think this sounds familiar because I watched it earlier today. Was that a giant one of those balls that you put your hands on and like the electro static? Yeah, this game looks really, really cool. This released on PC on Tuesday, and PC Gamer had nothing but good things to say about it. So yeah, that is called Kill Squad, and that is out on PC now if you want to check that out. It's kind of calling my name. It seems like a game I'd love to try out, but we got so much. Today I'm going to be hopping onto the PTR in Overwatch to try out roll queue. I tried it out a little bit earlier today playing as a tank. Really didn't notice much of a difference in terms of like queue times or anything like that, but I was populating the lowest queue. It was less than 5 minutes. So but I feel like it took like 30 seconds to a minute for me to find matches, but we'll be hopping into that. And then next week, believe it or not, Madden 20 comes out next week, and on early access for EA Access subscribers, and I'm going to be streaming some of that over here on our channel and then posting it up on our YouTube, and then we just get into fall releases, you know. So but I want to try Kill Squad. That game looks so dope. I really enjoy Diablo. I love Destiny, and so a mashup of those two things, yeah, I can definitely get into that. All right, guys. Well, let's jump into the news. There is a new trailer that released for Netflix's Witcher series during right after I think their presentation during San Diego Comic-Con, if I'm not mistaken. And so we're gonna watch this. I may have to cut this part out for the YouTube audience, just us watching the trailer, because I don't want us to get copyright struck for this video, but we'll watch it here on Twitch with you guys, and we'll kind of react to it in real time together. So let me turn this up for you guys.
Is it true what they say?
Elves are the original sorcerers of the continent.
Production quality on this is absolutely no joke.
Taught the humans how to turn chaos into magic. And then the humans slaughtered them.
Obviously, the direct comparison you're going to get is to Game of Thrones, right? People are going to look at this and want to compare it to Game of Thrones, and I think from a production value standpoint, definitely. I'm also much more comfortable with Henry Cavill playing Geralt now that we're kind of seeing it in motion.
This child will be extraordinary.
Yennefer, imagine the most powerful woman in the world. Do you have what it takes?
I also like that this trailer is focusing more on the people and not the monsters, because what makes The Witcher great, right, are the stories.
Just because you're terrified of
The monsters were always like a secondary thing to me.
I can't do this without you.
Just getting like real brief glimpses of the monsters.
You'll come out bloody.
So there you have it. The first official look at the Witcher series in motion. And it looks awesome. Like, I've been on the fence about this, right? Mostly because I've only played The Witcher 3. I'm not familiar with the novels, which I know that these are based on. But I also know that a lot of people who are not familiar with the novels are going to be the ones that are interacting with this story. People who are coming from just playing The Witcher 3, because that's when this franchise got taken to the next level, right? But watching that trailer, it just looks like it's going to be a fantastic story. And it's fantasy right now is super hot. We're coming off of the high and then the crash of Game of Thrones, and I feel like we're getting a lot of fantasy stuff greenlit because it's become more mainstream. It's not nerdy shit anymore. People realize that there are super interesting character stories that can be told against these backdrops, and the witches and fighting monsters and stories told in this time period. They can be sexy, and they can be very engaging. And so I think it makes sense for Netflix to just because I think Amazon's the one, right, who took the who's doing the Lord of the Rings series. So I think it made sense for Netflix to go and say, well, let us try to find an established fantasy franchise that has a fan base behind it, much like Game of Thrones did when HBO greenlit it, and try to build something that's fantastic. And just based off of the 2 minutes that we got to see within this trailer, it seems like they're hitting all the right notes in terms of production quality and trying to stay true to the story and the world. It seems like it's going to be very dark, very compelling. So I'm interested. And I think, I questioned at first their release of that image with Geralt and the sword on his back, but the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, that was actually really, really smart. So they released that image, the first look at Geralt in costume. He's got the one sword on his back, and everybody was like, oh, but where's his silver sword? Blah, 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 blah. And then the internet was quick to point out, like, hey, yeah, he carries both swords on his back in the game, but in the novels, he keeps the silver sword on Roach, and he carries around his steel sword. And at first I was like, this is just indicative of the problem that we are going to get with this series. When it comes out, is people are going to be expecting the game, they're going to get the novels. But looking at it now, I'm like, that really set the expectation for people to think, oh, if there's something that doesn't quite jive with what I've experienced with The Witcher, maybe it's a difference between the game and the novel, and I should just give them the benefit of the doubt. There's still going to be plenty of people who are ignorant about it, right? Who don't know any better. So I don't know. Looking at that trailer, I'm excited for it. I'm probably going to binge all 8 episodes of this over the weekend that it comes out. They're apparently still looking at an autumn release, according to some rumors. I'm getting this from Imran Khan over at Game Informer, who I'm convinced is the only person that writes news at Game Informer, because every time we have a Game Informer article, it's from Imran Khan. He's the West Coast news editor. So yeah, we're probably going to start seeing a lot more out of this, more than just this little official teaser trailer. We're probably going to get a story trailer, some behind the scenes looks, all of the actors doing media rounds. And so this is just the opening of the floodgates for Witcher content that we're about to see. And I'm excited for it. All right, moving on. Next story on the list, as Nims pointed out in the chat before we got into the news, Microsoft saw a loss in their gaming division over the last year. This is from Paul Lilly over at PC Gamer. It says Microsoft has been making a concerted effort towards PC gaming with things like the Game Bar in Windows 10 and its DirectX ray tracing DXR API, and that's all been well and good. Despite it all, however, the company reported a drop in gaming revenue over the past year. It's the only area that Microsoft saw a decline as it tallied up the numbers. What gives? He continues, don't blame the PC. Coming off the fourth quarter of its fiscal 2019 period, Microsoft noted a 10% year-over-year decline in gaming revenue. That's $233 million. And a 3% drop in Xbox software and services. Every other sector saw an uptick in revenue, with most of Microsoft's various businesses posting double-digit percentage gains. As it pertains to gaming, the biggest culprit is the company's Xbox console. Xbox hardware revenue dropped a whopping 48%, primarily due to a decrease in volume of consoles sold, end quote. Microsoft didn't provide any context for the slide in console sales, but the trend is not likely to reverse until its next hardware iteration, codenamed Project Scarlet. Both Microsoft and Sony are prepping next-gen consoles for a 2020 release, each of which will be powered by a custom AMD Zen 2 CPU and Navi GPU, whatever all of that means. So yeah, Microsoft sees a pretty significant loss, a $233 million loss in fiscal year 2019. And I think it makes sense for it to be behind, it to be mostly due to console sales dropping. I would love to see the numbers for their subscription services to see how many people are subscribing to Xbox Game Pass specifically. And now, Game Pass Ultimate that includes Xbox Live. What do those numbers look like? And you're not going to get a lot of uptick from the Game Pass Ultimate because that was middle of June that came out, and so this is 12 months. That would be just a couple weeks of the 12 months where that would be accounted for in there, because I imagine this runs through the end of June. And it makes sense. We're getting to the end of this console life cycle. People are stepping back and they're realizing, like, okay, I can either upgrade my console now, or I can just wait, or I already own an Xbox One or an Xbox One X, and so there's no reason for me to buy hardware. I also think that they hit a big swing and miss with the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, the Sade. The Xbox One S All Digital Edition, the one that came without the disc drive. I thought that they could really make up a lot in console sales if they would have put that at a more advantageous price than what they did. I was thinking along the lines of like $149.99 or something like that. And then because they did it for $249, correct? Let's see, Xbox Sade. Price. Xbox One S All Digital Edition. Right now, you can buy it from Walmart.com for $207.40. You can buy it from Amazon currently for $229. It comes with Sea of Thieves, Minecraft, and Forza Horizon 4. $225 for the Battlefield 5 edition. Oh no, that one's just a regular. So yeah, I still feel like they missed an opportunity to really put the pedal to the metal at the end of the console generation, much like PlayStation did with the PS3, where they released the one that had like the sliding disc tray. I can't remember what they called that version of it, but it was an updated version. It was a lot cheaper, and it was able to push their numbers near the end of the console generation. But people were expecting one thing out of the Xbox One S All Digital Edition when it came to a price point, and when it didn't come out at that price point, I think that they just kind of threw their hands up at it and were like, we'll stay. Because I think of a guy like me, right? I've got my gaming set up in this room. My Xbox One is here. And I'd love to be able to play my Xbox One games out on my TV. If they would have come out with a $150 edition of the Xbox One S All Digital Edition, I would have been all over that as a second console, right? Kind of like we talked about with the Switch Lite, that it's either going to be like baby's first Nintendo console, or it's going to be like an adult's second Switch. One that you can keep at the house, one that you can take with you. One, like, for me, because it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? The Switch can go with you, but my wife likes to play some things on the Switch, and so I could leave that here for her to play and then take the small one on the go. This would make the Xbox One S All Digital would have made a great second console unit in your home if it would have just had a more competitive price point, and it didn't. And, stepping back from it, it makes sense. Like, how much money do you really save not putting a Blu-ray disc player in your console? But it's the perception of the thing, right? And it was the narrative behind the thing. And I have to imagine that they were nervous about the announcement of the price point for this console when they saw people guessing what the price was going to be. So there is a lot that's looking up for Microsoft, right? They're being very progressive in terms of their subscription services. The Xbox One, the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Edition that comes with the Xbox Live is an incredible value. A lot of people are jumping onto it, and there's some life hacks about how to convert what you have right now in Xbox Live into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and like kind of make out like a bandit on it. And so I imagine that they're already making up for some of this stuff following the announcements at E3. But hopefully we're going to see software sales increasing going into the next generation, because we've got all these new studios that they've acquired that are working on things that will be releasing them. And so I think that this is a temporary bump in the road for the gaming division at Microsoft. So a blip on the radar. And moving into 2020, that stuff's going to uptick as new console hardware comes out, and as we get a better glimpse of what it is these studios they've acquired are working. So don't run for the hills and panic. It makes sense, but I feel like it could have been avoided with some strategic steps. But I'm just a small town pizza lawyer, guys. Who am I? Who am I to say? Moving on. Next story on the list, let's stick on the Microsoft train here. Microsoft may be getting ready to allow mods on PC soon for games purchased through the Microsoft Store on PC. This is from WCCF Tech, written by Nathan Birch. It says there are a lot of reasons why the Windows Microsoft Store has never become the PC game sales leader it could/should be. But one of the top reasons is Microsoft's lack of support for mods. Being able to mod your games is a huge part of the appeal of PC gaming, but it's a total pain in the ass if you're playing games purchased through the Microsoft Store. Well, that may be about to change, as spotted by Redditor Picorax. I always love when they have to credit their source as being a Reddit user, and it's always, this is maybe the tamest, but there's always like crazy ass usernames that they have to credit. But according to Picorax, the latest Windows 10 update quietly added a new folder to program files entitled Moddable Windows Apps. The title says it all. It seems like this folder is a place to keep mods for Windows apps purchased through the Microsoft Store, and the documentation for the latest Windows 10 update seems to bear that out. Here's what Microsoft says the new folder is for. Quote, a folder under the program file modifiable Windows app path has been added, where the contents of your desktop applications install folder are projected so that users can modify the installation files, for example, to install mods. This element is currently intended to be used only by certain types desktop of PC games that are published by Microsoft and our partners. Again, this is a move that makes sense. I'm not really ingrained in the PC world enough to have been able to tell you before I read this article that the Microsoft Store did not allow mods. I'm actually pretty surprised that they don't, because Microsoft, when you look back to the release of Fallout 4 and the Xbox One version of Skyrim, right? Those were both games where Microsoft allowed mods to be uploaded and used on the Xbox console. They were well ahead of the curve with Sony. I don't know if Sony's even caught up in terms of the kinds of mods that they'll allow, because it's much more, the options were at least much more expansive in the Xbox One version of Fallout and Skyrim. And I don't know if PlayStation ever caught up, so I always just assumed like, well, Microsoft has this really like open view of modding their games, and so this came as a little bit of a shock to me, and so it's no surprise that they're going to start allowing this on their store. I don't know if it's going to really move the needle in terms of people wanting to purchase things through the Microsoft Store that they don't absolutely have to, especially given the sentiment around the Epic Game Store, and that the main argument that I hear from people is like, I just don't want my games to be in multiple places. So I don't think it's necessarily like a huge hang up for people. Like, I would definitely buy things through the Microsoft Store if they had mod support. So, but just a cool thing. I thought it kind of matched up a little bit with what we were talking about as far as the numbers, and with how much Microsoft has been trying to support the PC and becoming more focused on PC gaming. This is just a natural trajectory, right? All right, guys. Next item on the list. Ubisoft has unveiled special editions for Watch Dogs Legion. Legion, yes. This is from Lauren Morton over at PC Gamer. There are 4 total, and we're just going to scroll through and look at these. This is the standard edition with the pre-order bonuses. You get the Lux car skin and Uneasy Lies mask skin and Serpent Sinister's gun skin. So pre-ordering gets you several in-game DLC items. Your gold edition is going to come with the season pass, which has 4 unique hero missions and heroes and missions. You get exclusive missions and masks, and it appears to be some skins. You get the game 3 days early if you purchase the gold and the ultimate edition. So then here's the ultimate edition. You get the urban jungle pack that has 3 characters and masks, and you get a 4-week VIP status where you earn experience and currency faster. So it looks like Watch Dogs is going to continue the Assassin's Creed Odyssey model, where you're going to be able to purchase boosters to be able to earn XP faster. And this comes with one of those tokens. So for 4 weeks, you're going to get that VIP status. You're going to earn more money, earn more experience. And again, this is a single player only game from what I understand. And I don't like this design, guys. I don't like it at all. As a guy who mainlines a lot of RPG games and just wants to play through the main story, I think when your design is focused on making it a grind so that people feel it necessary to purchase an XP booster, I find that really shady and unnecessary and makes me not want to play your game. But yeah, if you get the Ultimate Edition, and there aren't any prices here that I can see at least. We'll look that up here in just a second. If I'm having to guess, I'm going to go 60, 79.99, 99.99, and then I don't know what this collector's edition is going to be, because your collector's edition is going to come with a Lighting Dead Coronet mask that requires 2 AA batteries. It's this little statue mask right here that the crown lights up around it. A steelbook case, though on PC you'll still be downloading the game digitally. A double-sided propaganda poster, as you can see here. A set of 3 stickers in the collector's edition box. I don't know, it seems like a pretty weak collector's edition to me. Let's look up how much this is on Amazon. Watch Dogs Legion Collector's Edition. Doesn't appear I can find it. Let me see if I can look it up somewhere else where it has the prices listed. Because, I mean, the statue's cool, but then it's just like, here's a poster and some stickers in a steelbook. Call it a day. $189.99, so almost $200 for that set. And I imagine you're going to get the game 3 days early as well with this package. And that, yeah, you get all of the perks from the Ultimate Edition and the Gold Edition. So yeah, those are up for pre-order now. It's a slow news day, so we're tossing this in here. But yeah, I don't like that game design at all. Of like, even if it isn't designed that way, it makes you feel that way. If you hit a part that seems a little unfair, it's like, oh man, this game's just trying to either get me to grind or get me to purchase an XP booster or something like that. So there was a ton of debate that went on around that with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of debate that goes on around it if that's the way that it works in Watch Dogs Legion as well. All right, next item on the list. The first farming simulator season is taking place at the end of July. This is from Ian Bourdreau over at PC Gamer. PC Gamer, star of the show tonight. It says the inaugural season of the Farming Simulator League will get underway later this month at FarmCon, which this year will be held at the CLAAS Techno Park in Harzewinkel, Germany. The convention will be held July 27th and 28th and play host to the league's first official tournament with an 11,000 shekels pounds, euros, prize pool. Let's see, let's convert that. 11,000 in American money, 4.8 million or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the exchange rate. But yeah, an $11,000 euro prize pool. You'll be able to watch the whole thing live too. The competitive farming will be broadcast on Twitch on the Giant Software and Focus Home Interactive channels. The tournament will feature a mix of teams from the player community squaring off against teams sponsored by official equipment manufacturers, including Komatsu Forest and Trelleborg. So yeah, the Farming Simulator League also has a prize pool worth 250,000 euros, which I think we're getting into the billions of dollars at that point, right? Which indicates a certain amount of momentum. Guys, I talk a lot about esports being a bubble, and it's hot, right? Like, people want to get on these things. Sponsors want to get on these things. They want their name in front of these crowds, and they're spending a lot of money to do it. A 250,000 euro prize pool is enormous, but I have to, like, what would you guys guesstimate the viewership for the Farming Simulator League is going to be? And I know that this is a big thing in Europe, and I'm not dismissing it. Like, look, I've sat around with my dad watching esports enough to really just hate the whole, like, oh, what is our world coming to? There's people getting paid, 6 figures, 7 figures to play video games. Like, because there are esports that I thoroughly enjoy. I love League. I love Overwatch. I love NBA 2K League. Like, I'm big into these things. And so I'm not going to be the guy who sits here and is like, oh man, Farming Simulator League, this is a bunch of bullshit. What is our world coming to? Because like 5 days ago, I was having that same exact conversation about what I enjoyed. If there are people that are willing to pay players for their ability to play this game, and they're willing to have a tournament that has these giant prize pools, more power to them, man. Get your money while you can. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but who am I to say, right? But, and look, I'll tune in. I'll tune in for half an hour just to check out and see what it's about. A 250,000 euro prize pool is nothing to scoff at, and I'm curious as to how it works. I think I've talked with other people about this, and I think the way that it works is there's like there's different challenges where it's like it's a hay bale stacking contest. Who can do it the fastest? And yeah, I'll be honest. Does it sound a little ridiculous? It does, but it seems to have some momentum. There's excitement around it. There's a whole entire conference, FarmCon, that's going on around this, and so yeah, man, I'd love to interview a Farming Simulator League player, like for real, legit. Talk to them about like, how do you even get started on that scene? Is there online multiplayer competitive modes, or like do you have to find ways to host this like between like find a Discord server where you like time each other and submit your times or whatever? I don't know how it works. And I'm really interested in how it does, just because it's like, I feel like if Farming Simulator can be an esport, there's opportunities in just about every game for it to be an esport. And that's not knocking on Farming Simulator, right? It's just like, hey, we're going to have a contest to see who can stack hay bales fastest. Like, seems like we can translate just about anything in video games into an esport. I'm curious to see where this industry takes us, because it's wild. Wild, man. Crazy money going on in this, in esports in general, not just the Farming Simulator thing. And it should worry people, right? In my opinion, I think it should worry people how much money is getting poured into esports right now, because I'm not sure it can sustain itself at the level it's going. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for the PvA Nightly Rundown for tonight. It's a short show. It's a short news day. It's Friday. News tends to be pretty slow on a Friday. So if you're hanging out over here on Twitch, stick around. We're going to play some Overwatch with our roll queue. It's starting to cool down in this room. I was like, man, if it's going to stay this hot, there's not a chance in hell I'm going to keep playing. But it's starting to cool down a little bit. I got myself some nice agua. And so this has been the PvA Nightly Rundown, the daily gaming news show where I run you through all the gaming news that you may have missed throughout the day so that you don't look like a fucking idiot at the water cooler tomorrow when you're like, Farming Simulator doesn't have an esports scene. Now you can be like, nah, dog, you can win 250,000 shekels in this tournament. It's wild. Europe just throwing money at this. If you can't catch us live though, you can watch us on youtube.com/PvA Radio. We break the show out topic by topic, or you can watch the whole entire thing. Wherever you're watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up or follow us, subscribe, leave a comment below on anything that you may have listened to. And until next time, guys, we love you. Goodbye.